Seo Kongmu placed the gun without hesitation on the man who had stolen from him and bragged about it. His knuckles were still bruised purple from the interrogation. He flexed his fingers, watching the skin crack and bleed, and was about to pull the trigger when the phone rang. An unknown number. Kongmu stared at it. He never answered unknown numbers. Not in his line of work, but something made him pick up. Speak. There was a short silence. Then a male voice, American, nervous. Your ex-wife is 7 months pregnant. Kongmu's world stopped. Thought you should know before someone else does. Click. The call ended. Kongmu stood frozen. The gun in his hand suddenly felt like a confession. He did the math. 5 months since the divorce. 5 months since they'd last. The night before she left. His eyes widened. His mind flashed back when Zara was underneath him that night. Her nails digging into his back when she reached her climax. The way she'd whispered his name like a prayer, a plea. Like she was trying to memorize him. He'd felt something was wrong. She had kissed him differently. Almost desperately, like she was drinking him in for the last time. But he hadn't asked, too caught up in the pleasure. And the next morning, she was gone. Kongmu grabbed his phone and speed dialed. His head of security answered immediately. Find Zara. Now. Sir. I don't care where she is. I don't care what you have to do. Find her in the next hour or find a new job. Silence. Then, sir, I heard the call. If there's an heir, every rival family will be hunting her by morning. Kongmu looked at the almost dead man again. His crime, he threatened Kongmu's family and bloodline. But Kongmu didn't know he had a bloodline. Until 30 seconds ago. Hey darling, if you're hooked already, hit that like button, subscribe, and drop a comment telling me where you're watching from. Trust me, you'll want to see what happens next. 2 years ago. The wedding was in February. Zara stood at the altar in a white dress she hadn't chosen, looking at a man she'd met exactly twice. Once to sign the contract. Once for engagement photos that would be released to the press. Seo Kongmu was beautiful in the way dangerous things are beautiful. Sharp jaw, dark eyes that revealed nothing, and wore a custom-made expensive suit. He looked at her the way men look at contracts they're about to sign, with cold calculation. Which made sense because that's what she was. A contract. Her father owed $3 million to the Yakuza. $3 million he'd gambled away in underground poker rooms across Atlanta. The kind of debt that doesn't get forgiven. The kind that gets paid in blood. Or daughters. Kongmu needed an American wife. Something respectable for his expanding business empire. A black woman with a degree from Stanford, fluent in 3 languages, with no criminal record. Perfect for the image he was building. The deal was simple. They'll be married for a year. She plays the dutiful wife, attends events, smiles for cameras. In exchange, her father's debt disappears. Each 4 months counts as $1 million. At the end of the year, they divorce quietly. She gets her freedom. There'll be no love, no complications. Just business. I do, she said, her voice steady even though her hands were shaking. I do, he said, his voice completely empty. The officiant smiled. You may kiss the bride. Kongmu leaned in. His lips touched hers for exactly 3 seconds. It felt cold, like a robot doing its duty. The cameras flashed. Her father cried in relief. And Zara felt something inside her go numb. Her life had suddenly transformed. The penthouse was on the top floor of the most expensive building in Seoul. It was beautiful but felt cold. Kongmu showed her to her room. Not their room, her personal room. You'll have your own space, he said, standing in the doorway like he was afraid to come in. Your own bathroom. The closet is already stocked with clothes in your size. If you need anything, tell the staff. Where's your room? On the other side of the penthouse. Of course it was. I hope you remember the rules in the contract, he continued, his voice businesslike. We attend events together, are affectionate in public. Loving and convincing. In private, we live separate lives. You don't ask about my business. I don't interfere with your life. We're polite and cordial to each other. But this isn't a real marriage. Zara felt something twist in her chest. I understand. Good. He turned to leave, then paused. Breakfast is at 7 if you want to join me. If not, the chef will make you whatever you want. Will you be there? At breakfast? Probably not. I'm usually gone by 6. He left. Zara sat on the edge of the enormous bed and stared at the diamond ring on her finger. It was beautiful but heavy, just like everything else. She didn't cry. She'd known what this was. But knowing and feeling are different things. That night, she lay in bed and listened to the silence. Somewhere on the other side of the penthouse, Kongmu was doing the same thing. Two strangers married, yet completely alone. The first month was exactly what he'd promised. Kongmu left before she woke up and came home after she was asleep. When they did cross paths, he was polite but distant. "Good morning," she'd say. "Did you sleep well?" He would ask. "The car will take you wherever you need to go," he added almost every time. Zara spent her days exploring Seoul, learning the language, reading, trying not to feel like a prisoner in a gilded cage. The events were worse. At charity galas and business dinners, Kongmu transformed. He touched her constantly, his hands on her lower back, fingers intertwined with hers perfectly. He'd lean in close, whisper things in her ear that made her laugh for the cameras. "You're doing well," he'd murmur. "Very convincing." "So are you." "I've had practice." She wanted to ask what that meant. But the rules were clear. Don't ask about his life. One night, at a dinner with Korean business executives, one of the men said something in sharp Korean. The table went quiet. Zara's Korean wasn't perfect yet, but she caught enough. Something about Kongmu's American pet. Kongmu's hand tightened on his glass. His jaw clenched. But his voice stayed calm. "My wife," he corrected in Korean, "speaks 3 languages. Has 2 degrees. And could buy and sell your company before breakfast. Show respect or leave my table." The man's face went red. He stood and left. The dinner continued. In the car afterward, Zara looked at him. "You didn't have to do that." "Yes, I did." "Why?" "This isn't real." He looked at her then. Really looked. In public, it's real. That's the deal. But something in his eyes made her think he wasn't just talking about the contract. The shift started small. 2 months into the marriage, Zara couldn't sleep. She went to the kitchen at 2 a.m. and found Kongmu already there, drinking whiskey in the dark. "Sorry," she said. "I didn't know you were here. It's your house too." She poured herself water, sat at the island in silence. "Why can't you sleep?" he asked finally. "Thinking too much." "You?" "Same." "About what?" He looked at her. "Things I can't talk about." "Right. The rules." "The rules." But he didn't leave. And neither did she. They sat in the dark kitchen for an hour, not talking, just existing in the same space. When she finally went back to bed, she felt less alone. It became a routine. 2 or 3 nights a week, she'd find him in the kitchen. He'd pour her tea. She'd sit. Sometimes they talked about small things. What was Atlanta like? Hot, loud, but it was home. Do you miss it? Every day. I'm sorry. For what? That you're here instead. She'd looked at him surprised. You didn't force me, didn't I? The guilt in his voice was unexpected. One night, she found him in his office at 3 a.m., staring at paperwork. He looked exhausted, almost defeated. You should sleep, she said from the doorway. I wish I could, but I have too much to do. Can I help? You don't have to. I know. Can I help? He'd hesitated, then nodded. She sat across from him. He explained what he was working on, contracts, negotiations, legitimate business deals. She helped organize them, translated some English documents and made notes. They worked until dawn. When the sun came up, Kongmu looked at her. Thank you. For what? For staying. Something in her chest tightened. Where else would I go? He didn't answer, but his eyes said everything. It became their routine. She'd wait until he'd come home. They'd work together in his office, or talk in the kitchen, or sit in comfortable silence. He started teaching her Korean. Real Korean, not textbook phrases. How do you say this food is terrible politely? You don't. You just eat it and suffer. She laughed loudly. His face did something strange. Like he'd forgotten what laughter sounded like. Say something in Korean, she said one night. Like what? Anything. I like how it sounds. He spoke softly. A full sentence. It sounded like poetry. What does that mean? He hesitated. It means, the moon is beautiful tonight. Is it? Yes. But he wasn't looking at the moon. He was looking at her. Zara felt heat creep up her neck. Teach me how to say it. He did. Slowly and patiently, correcting her pronunciations. His hand brushing hers when he pointed at the characters he'd written down. Every touch felt electric. She was falling for him. She knew it. Felt it happening and couldn't stop it. This wasn't part of the deal. For months into the marriage, something broke. Zara was in the living room when Kangmu came home early. He looked surprised to see her. I thought you'd be out, he said. I was reading. Why are you home? Meetings ended early. They stood there, awkward. Like teenagers. Do you want dinner? She asked. I was going to order something. Sure. They ordered Thai food, ate on the couch instead of the formal dining room, and talked about nothing important. Movies, books, her favorite places in Atlanta. His childhood in Seoul. Were you always this serious? She asked. No. I used to laugh more. What changed? His face closed off. Life. She wanted to push. Wanted to know what had made him so cold. But the rules stopped her. After dinner, she stood to clean up. He stopped her. Leave it. The staff will handle it. I'm not helpless. I know. But let someone else do it for once. She sat back down and watched him pour her wine. They drank in silence. Can I ask you something? He said finally. Yes. Do you hate this? Being here. The question surprised her. I don't hate it. But you don't love it. I don't know what I feel. He nodded, then looked away. I understand. Can I ask you something? Yes. Do you ever wish this was real? The words hung between them. This was breaking the rules. Kangmu looked at her. His eyes were dark and conflicted. Every day. Her breath caught. But it can't be, he continued. You deserve better than this. Better than me. What if I don't want better? What if I just want you? Zara. I'm breaking the rules, I know. But I need to say it. These past 4 months, I've felt more alive than I have in years. And I know it's just a contract to you, but it's not for me anymore. It stopped being a contract the night you defended me at that dinner. Or maybe before that. I don't know. But I'm falling for you, and I don't know how to stop. There was silence. Kangmu stood and walked to the window. His back to her. You should stop, he said quietly. This world I'm in, it's dangerous. Violent. If people knew I cared about you, really cared, you'd become a target. The contract protects you. Keeps you safe. If this becomes real, you'll be vulnerable. I don't care. You should. Kangmu, look at me. He turned. She stood and walked to him. So close, she could feel his body heat. I know what I'm asking for. And I know the risks. But I'm tired of pretending. Tired of sleeping alone. Tired of being strangers who live in the same house. If I touch you, he said, his voice rough, I won't be able to stop. And this stops being business. It becomes real. You'll be my wife for real. Good. He stared at her, searching her face for doubt. She didn't give him any. Kangmu's hand came up slowly. He cupped her face and his thumb traced her cheekbone. You're sure? I've never been more sure of anything. He kissed her. Not like the wedding. Not cold or formal or for show. This was heat. Hunger. Months of wanting compressed into one moment. Zara's hands fisted in his shirt. He pulled her closer, one hand in her hair, the other on her waist. She tasted whiskey and desperation. They barely made it to his bedroom. Kangmu's bedroom was dark with minimal decorations. Just a bed, a dresser, and nothing personal. He kissed her against the closed door deeply, like he was memorizing her. Are you sure? He asked again, his forehead against hers. Stop asking. I'm sure. His hands found the zipper of her dress slowly, giving her time to change her mind. She didn't. The dress pulled at her feet and his shirt followed. Then his pants. He lifted her, carried her to the bed, and laid her down gently, like she was something precious. You're beautiful, he whispered in Korean. What does that mean? It means you're beautiful. He kissed down her neck, her collarbone, the valley between her breasts, taking his time and enjoying every moment. Zara's hands tangled in his hair. Kangmu, tell me what you want. You. All of you. He looked up at her. His eyes were different this time. It was soft. You have me, he said. You've had me for months. I was just too afraid to admit it. Then he kissed her again, his hands moving everywhere. Learning what made her gasp. What made her arch into him. When he finally entered her, slow and careful, Zara felt something shift. This wasn't just sex. This was a confession. A surrender. He moved slowly at first, his eyes never leaving hers, watching every reaction, every breath. Faster, she whispered. He obeyed. The pace built. Zara's nails dragged down his back. He groaned against her neck. Say my name, he demanded. Kangmu. Again. Kangmu. He buried his face in her neck, moved faster and harder. She felt the tension building, climbing. When she came, she cried out. He followed seconds later, her name on his lips. After, they lay tangled together, breathing hard and sweating like they'd run a marathon. Kangmu brushed hair from her face. I love you. The words were in Korean, but she knew. She'd learned. Say it in English, she whispered. I love you. Tears slipped down her cheeks. I love you too. He kissed them away and pulled her close. She felt his heartbeat against her cheek. This changes everything, he said. I know. I meant what I said. You're in danger now. My enemies. I don't care. Zara. I don't care, she repeated. Whatever comes, we face it together. He held her tighter. Together. They fell asleep like that, wrapped around each other. They were no longer strangers. No longer just a contract. A new family. The next few months were the happiest of Zara's life. Kangmu stopped sleeping in his room. They shared a bed. She'd wake up to him watching her, his hand tracing patterns on her skin. What? She'd ask, smiling. Just memorizing you. Why? In case this is a dream. He started coming home earlier. They'd cook dinner together, or try to. Kangmu was terrible at cooking. He'd burn the rice, oversalt everything. She'd laugh and fix it. You're laughing at me, he'd say, mock offended. You're burning water. How's that possible? I'm talented. She'd kiss him. You're ridiculous. But you love me anyway. Unfortunately. He'd smile. That real smile. The one that made him look younger. They went on real dates. Not business dinners. Little restaurants where nobody knew who he was. Late night walks through Seoul. He showed her his favorite places. The park where he'd played as a child. The library where he'd hidden from his father. Tell me about him, she said one night. Your father. Kangmu's face darkened. He was complicated but powerful. He built this empire and expected me to maintain it. To be exactly like him. Are you? I'm trying not to be. She kissed his jaw. You're nothing like what you think you are. What do I think I am? A monster. And what am I actually? A man who's trying. That's all anyone can do. He pulled her close. Held her like she might disappear. In public, they were still the perfect couple. But now it wasn't fake. The touches were real. The smiles were genuine and people noticed. You two seem happy, a business associate said at a gala. We are, Kangmu said simply, his hand on Zara's waist. In bed, they learned each other completely. What made her moan? What made him lose control? He was patient throughout and attentive in a way that made her feel worshipped. I've never felt like this, she admitted one night, breathless and satisfied. Like what? Loved. Really, truly loved. He kissed her forehead. Get used to it. Life was perfect. And then the warehouse exploded. The call came at 2 a.m. Kangmu's phone rang, and he answered immediately. Zara watched his face change. It went pale and hard in a second. I'm on my way. He was out of bed instantly and dressing. What happened? She asked. One of my warehouses. There was an explosion. I'm coming with you. No. Kangmu. No. His voice was sharp. Stay here. I'll be back soon. He left. Zara didn't sleep. She waited, watched the news. 17 people died. The footage showed flames, chaos. Bodies being carried out. Kangmu came home at dawn. He was covered in ash and blood. His eyes were empty. Kangmu. She reached for him. He flinched. Don't. Let me help. I said don't. His voice was cold. Distant. Like the first month of their marriage. He walked past her, went to his old room, and locked the door. Zara stood in the hallway, heartbreaking. The next week was hell. Kangmu became someone else. Cold and brutal. He'd leave before dawn. Come home after midnight. When she tried to talk to him, he'd shut down. I'm fine. You're not. I said I'm fine. She found out through news reports what he was doing. He was hunting down everyone responsible. There were bodies. Lots of them. Kangmu was systematically destroying the organization that had bombed his warehouse. One night, she found him in his office signing papers. What are those? Execution orders. Her blood went cold. How many? 12. Kangmu, you can't. I can and I will. They killed 17 of my men. 17 people with families. Children. They don't get to walk away from that. This isn't justice. This is revenge. Call it whatever you want. They're dying. This isn't who you are. He laughed bitterly. This is exactly who I am, Zara. I told you. I'm my father's son. This is what I do. This is what my world is. Then change it. I can't. He slammed his hand on the desk. This is all I know. Violence. Control. Power. You want it real? This is real. This is who I actually am. Tears streamed down her face. I don't believe that. Then you're naive. The word hit like a slap. If that's what you think of me, she said quietly, then maybe we made a mistake. Maybe we did. She left the room. He didn't follow. That night, Zara couldn't sleep. Her period was late. Very late. She took a test. It was positive. She took 3 more. All positive. Zara was pregnant. She sat on the bathroom floor, staring at the tests. She should have been happy, but all she felt was terror. Because Kangmu was out there somewhere, signing death warrants. Becoming the monster he'd sworn he wasn't. And she was about to bring a child into this world. A child who would grow up with bodyguards. Who would learn that daddy solves problems with bullets. Who would inherit an empire built on blood. She couldn't do it. The contract ended in 6 weeks. They'd been together for almost 1 full year. Zara couldn't believe it. Maybe this was a sign she needed to leave and raise the baby somewhere safe. Somewhere far from Kangmu's violence. She made the decision that night. She'd leave. Disappear. And he'd never know about the baby. It would break her heart. But it would keep their child safe. And that's what mattered. The divorce papers came 6 weeks later. Exactly as the contract specified. Kangmu had been distant the entire time. Barely spoken to her. He slept in his old room, came home covered in blood more nights than not. The night before she was supposed to leave, Zara packed her suitcase. 1 suitcase. That's all she'd take. None of the designer clothes. None of the jewelry. Just her books and a few photographs. She was 2 months pregnant now and just starting to show. But baggy clothes hid it. Kangmu found her packing. You're really going? Yes. I'll have the papers ready tomorrow. Thank you. He stepped into the room and looked around. Take whatever you want. I don't want anything. The money. Keep it. Zara, that was part of the deal. I said keep it. He stayed silent then. Can I ask you something? He said quietly. Yes. Did any of it mean anything to you? Us. The past few months. Did it mean anything? Her heart shattered. No. It was just the contract. The lie tasted like poison. But it was necessary. If he knew she loved him, still loved him, he'd try to make her stay. And staying meant raising their child in his world. In violence. She couldn't do it. Right, he said. The contract. He turned to leave. Kangmu. He stopped. For what it's worth. I hope you find peace. Real peace. You deserve that much. He didn't respond. Just left. That night, Zara couldn't sleep. She kept thinking about Kangmu in his room alone. Believing she'd never cared. Around midnight, he knocked on her door. She opened it. He looked broken. I need to know. One more time. Did you ever love me? She should have said no. Should have stuck to the lie. But she couldn't. Yes. I loved you. I still love you. But love isn't enough. Not when your world will destroy everything soft. Not when I watch you become exactly what you said you'd never be. I can change. You've had months to change. You chose revenge instead. Because they killed my people. And I understand that. I do. But where does it end, Kangmu? When do you stop? When do you choose peace over violence? I don't know how. Then that's your answer. She started to close the door. He stopped it. One more night. Please. Let me have one more night. She should have said no. But she didn't. He came inside and closed the door. They didn't talk. He just pulled her close. Kissed her like he was dying. Like she was air and he was drowning. They made love slowly, desperately. Her hands memorizing his face. His body worshipping hers. Both of them crying. I love you, he whispered in Korean. Then English. I love you, Zara. I'm sorry. For all of it. I love you too. She felt the baby flutter. The first real movement. Like even the baby was saying goodbye. Afterward, they lay tangled together. She traced the scars on his chest. What will you do? He asked. After. Start over. Somewhere far from here. Will you be happy? I'll try. That's all I want. For you to be happy. What about you? I'll manage. Kangmu. Go to sleep, Zara. Let me hold you one more time. She did. In the morning, he was gone. The divorce papers were on the table and signed. Zara took her things and left. She looked back once at the penthouse where she'd learned to love. Where she'd been happy. Then the elevator doors closed. And she walked away from the only man she'd ever loved. Hey darling, I know your heart is breaking right now. Mine is too. Drop a comment telling me if she made the right choice. 5 months later. Kangmu was in the process of signing the death of a snitch in his team when the phone rang. An unknown number. Something made him answer. Speak. Your ex-wife is 7 months pregnant. Thought you should know before someone else does. The world stopped. The call ended with a click. Kangmu sat frozen and did the math. 5 months since the divorce. 5 months since the last time She'd been different that night. Desperate and crying. He'd thought it was because she was leaving. But she'd known. She'd known and hadn't told him. Rage and grief hit simultaneously. She'd left. Carried his child for 7 months without saying a word. Why? Then he remembered. His world. His violence. The weeks he'd spent hunting down enemies. Coming home covered in blood. She'd left to protect the baby from him. The realization was devastating. He grabbed his phone. Called his head of security. Find Zara. Now. Sir. I don't care what it takes. Find her in the next hour. Sir, I heard the news. If there's an heir, every rival family will know by tomorrow. They'll hunt her. Kangmu's blood ran cold. He stood. Then we find her first. It took 45 minutes. Zara was in a small apartment in Atlanta, living under her maiden name. Kangmu was on a plane within the hour. The entire flight, his mind raced. A baby. Their baby. 7 months along. A part of him was furious. She should have told him. Should have given him a choice. But a bigger part understood. He'd become a monster. She'd done what she had to do to protect their child. From him. The plane couldn't move fast enough. When he landed, his phone rang. His security chief. Sir, we have a problem. The Lee family knows about the baby. They have men en route to Atlanta. They're going to kill her. Kangmu's blood turned to ice. How long do I have? Maybe an hour. Maybe less. I'm 20 minutes from her apartment. Boss, you need backup. No time. Have the team meet me there. He hung up and told the driver to go faster. Please, he thought. Please let me get there in time. Zara was already packing. She'd gotten an anonymous text 20 minutes ago saying, he knows. She'd known this day would come. Had hoped it would come later. But hope was a luxury. 7 months pregnant, and she could still move fast when she needed to. The go bag was by the door. Along with her cash, fake ID, and everything she needed to disappear. The baby kicked hard. Like she knew something was wrong. It's okay, Zara whispered, placing her hand on her belly. We're going to be okay. Then her door exploded. 3 armed men with the Lee family tattoos. The leaders smiled. You thought you could hide his bastard? Zara's hand moved to her belly protectively. I don't know what you're talking about. We've been watching you. Waiting for the perfect time. The baby's far along now that killing you will really hurt him. Her back hit the window. He doesn't care about me. We're divorced. He'll care when we cut that baby out and send it to him piece by piece. They moved toward her when she heard gunshots from the hallway. The men turned. Kangmu walked through the door alone with his gun raised and fired rapidly. The men fell. His eyes found hers. She saw everything: rage, hurt, betrayal, relief. "Get behind me," he said quietly. She couldn't move. Couldn't breathe. Kangmu. "Now, Zara." More footsteps in the stairwell. He grabbed her hand. And they ran. The car chase was chaos. Kangmu drove with one-handed, shooting out the back window with the other. 3 cars were behind them, firing bullets everywhere. "Stay down," he shouted. Zara pressed herself against the floorboard with the baby kicking frantically. "I'm sorry," she gasped. "I'm so sorry." "Not now." He ran a red light and caused a massive pileup that blocked their pursuers. Kangmu drove for another 10 minutes while making sure they weren't followed. Finally, he pulled into an empty parking garage and killed the engine. Zara sat up slowly. Kangmu stared straight ahead. His hands clenched on the steering wheel. "Why didn't you tell me?" His voice was soft and deadly. "Because of this exact situation. I knew if anyone found out, our baby would become a target." "Our baby," he laughed bitterly. "Our baby that you've been hiding for 7 months. I was protecting. You were hiding." He turned to face her. His eyes were wet. "You were hiding my child from me because you thought I'd what? Hurt you? Use the baby as leverage? I thought you'd turn her into what you are. And what am I, Zara? Say it." Tears streamed down her face. "A weapon. Everything you touch becomes a weapon. Everyone you love becomes a liability. I couldn't let that happen to our daughter." "Daughter," he whispered. The word broke him. He leaned back against the seat, put his hands over his face. "I've spent 5 months drowning," he said. 5 months trying to figure out why you really left. What I did wrong. How I could have fixed it. And the whole time, you were carrying my child. My daughter. And you didn't think I deserved to know. I'm sorry. Sorry doesn't change anything." He looked at her. "I love you. I've loved you since that night in the kitchen when you stayed up with me. And I've been dying without you. But you looked at me and saw a monster. Saw someone who would hurt our child. And maybe you're right. Maybe I am exactly what you think. Kangmu, that's not. But I'm also her father. And you took that from me." The words hung heavily. Zara's hand rested on her belly. "I was wrong. I should have told you. Should have given you a choice. But I was scared. Terrified because I love you so much and I watched you choose violence over everything. Over me. Over us. What was I supposed to think? You were supposed to trust me." "How?" "You signed 12 execution orders without blinking. You came home covered in blood. You became exactly what you promised you wouldn't be. Because I didn't know how else to protect what's mine. We're not possessions." "I know." His voice cracked. "I know. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry I failed you. Sorry I became my father. Sorry I gave you reasons to run. But I'm here now. And our daughter," his voice broke, "our daughter is in danger. Every enemy I have will be hunting you. Hunting her. So you can hate me. You can leave again after this is over. But right now, I need you to trust me. One more time. Can you do that?" Zara looked at him. At the man she'd loved. Still loved. "Yes." He nodded. Started the car. "Where are we going?" "The only place I can protect you both. My compound." They went back to Seoul. The compound was massive. It was. 50 acres outside Seoul with fortress walls and armed guard every 100 feet. The main house looked like something from a movie, traditional Korean architecture mixed with modern security. Zara stared. "This is where you've been living? Since you left?" "Yes." Guards opened the gates. They drove through. Zara saw men with assault rifles and cameras everywhere. Guard dogs patrolling. This is insane. This is necessary. Inside, the house was sparse. Nothing like the penthouse. No warmth, no personality. Just a place to exist. Kangmu led her to a bedroom. "You'll stay here. It's the most secure room in the compound. Reinforced walls with a panic button by the bed. Bathroom is through there. If you need anything, press the intercom." "Where will you be?" "Handling this." Kangmu. "Get some rest, Zara. You look exhausted." He left before she could respond. Zara sat on the bed. Her whole body ached. The baby was moving constantly now, upset by the stress. "It's okay, baby girl," she whispered. "We're safe. Your daddy's here. And whatever else he is, he'll keep us safe." She hoped that was true. That night, Zara couldn't sleep. She wandered the compound and found Kongmu in his office at 2 a.m. Just like old times. He looked up when she entered. You should be resting. Can't sleep. Bad dreams. No dreams. Just thinking. About? Everything. She sat in the chair across from his desk. This. Us. What happens next? Kongmu leaned back. He looked exhausted, older somehow. What happens next is I end this threat permanently. How? The families are meeting tomorrow. I called a blood meeting. What's that? A gathering of all the major organizations. To settle disputes. It hasn't been called in 20 years. What are you declaring? He looked at her. His eyes were dark. That anyone who touches you or our daughter dies. No negotiations. No mercy. Just death. That's going to start a war. I know. Kongmu, you can't. I can and I will. He stood and walked around the desk to kneel in front of her. Listen to me. I've made a lot of mistakes. Hurt you in ways I can't fix. But I will not let anyone harm you or our child. Even if it costs me everything. His hand moved tentatively to her belly. May I? She nodded. He placed his palm against her stomach. The baby kicked immediately. Hard. Kongmu's face transformed. Wonder, joy, tears. She's strong, he whispered. Like her father. Like her mother. He looked up at Zara. I want to be part of this. Part of her life. I know I don't deserve it and you have every reason to keep me away. But please, let me be her father. Zara's tears fell. I never wanted to keep you away. I wanted to keep her safe. I'll keep you both safe. I swear it. How? Your world. Then I'll leave it. The words came out firm. If that's what it takes. I'll walk away from all of it. The organization, the power. Everything. Will disappear. Start over somewhere far from here. I'll be whoever you need me to be. Just, don't take her from me. Zara cupped his face. You'd really walk away? From everything you built? It means nothing without you. She kissed him. I love you, she whispered. I never stopped. I love you too. Both of you. He stayed kneeling, his hand on her belly, feeling his daughter move and memorizing this moment. Have you thought about names? He asked. Hayun. Or Grace. If that's okay with you. It's perfect. They stayed like that for hours. Talking quietly, planning and dreaming about a life that might be possible if they survived. The meeting room was underground with concrete walls. One entrance with no windows. 20 men sat around the table. Leaders of every major criminal organization in Asia. They'd flown in for this. A blood meeting meant something serious. Kongmu sat at the head of the table. Calm and composed. Zara watched from a secure room via video feed. Armed guards stationed outside her door. Park Hyunwoo, the eldest boss, spoke first. You called us here because of a woman? Because of my heir, Kongmu corrected. Your contract wife? The one you divorced. The mother of my child. Murmurs around the table. Lee Min-suk, the man who'd ordered the hit, smiled. You're compromised, Kongmu. Weak. That woman has made you stupid. Then let me be very clear about my stupidity. Kongmu's voice was ice. Anyone who touches her dies. Anyone who threatens my child dies. Anyone who even thinks about them wrong dies. That's not a threat. That's a fact. You're willing to start a war over this? I'm willing to burn this entire city to ash. Yes. The room erupted in threats. Arguments. Alliances cracking in real time. Park raised his hand. Silence fell. Kongmu. Be reasonable. You're asking us to respect a bastard child from a failed marriage. To honor a woman who's not even Korean. You're asking us to change decades of tradition. I'm not asking. I'm telling you. Lee leaned forward. Then let me make you an offer. A peaceful solution. Give us the child as hostage. We'll raise it as part of the Lee family. Your bloodline continues and the baby lives. You'll still have your empire. Everyone wins. In the secure room, Zara's breath caught. Kongmu stood slowly. No. The word echoed. No, Lee repeated. The answer is no. And if you come for my family again, if anyone in this room even thinks about touching them, I will erase your entire bloodline. Your children. Your grandchildren. Every person who carries your name dies. I will salt the earth where your house stands. Do you understand me? You're declaring war on all of us. I'm declaring war on anyone who threatens what's mine. The rest of you can choose. Stand with me or against me. But choose now. Silence. Then Park spoke. I respect your conviction, Kongmu. Your father would be proud. I'm not my father. No, you're not. Park stood. I'll respect your claim. The Park family will not move against your heir or her mother. One by one, other families agreed. Not out of love, but out of fear. Kongmu had proven he was willing to burn it all down. Only Lee remained defiant. You're making a mistake, he said. Then it's my mistake to make. Lee stood and left. Kongmu watched him go, knowing what it meant. War. The next week was hell. Lee's organization attacked everywhere. The warehouses, businesses. Even tried to breach the compound twice. Kongmu's men fought back. Dead bodies piled up on both sides. Zara stayed locked in the compound, listening to gunfire in the distance. Feeling her baby kick and was terrified. Kongmu came to her every night exhausted and sometimes bloody. But he always came. It's almost over, he'd say. You don't know that. I do. Lee's losing support. His allies are abandoning him. Just a few more days. But Zara saw what the war was doing to him. The darkness was creeping back in. One night, she couldn't take it anymore. Stop, she said when he came in. Just stop. Zara, this isn't protection. This is madness. You're killing yourself trying to kill everyone else. I'm ending the threat. There will always be another threat. Always another enemy. When does it end, Kongmu? When do you stop destroying yourself for this empire? When you're safe. I'll never be safe. Not as long as you're in this world. She was crying now. 8 months pregnant and sobbing. I don't want this. I don't want an empire built on corpses. I don't want our daughter growing up thinking this is normal. I want you, just you. The man who held me in the kitchen at 2 a.m. The man who laughed at my bad jokes. The man who whispered that I was beautiful in Korean because he was too afraid to say it in English. That's who I want. Not this. Kongmu stared at her. Something breaking in his eyes. What are you saying? I'm saying choose. The empire or us. Because you can't have both. I won't raise Hayun in this world. I won't watch you become your father. I can't do it. Zara. Choose, Kongmu. He looked at her. At her belly where their daughter was growing. At the life they could have if he just walked away. Then he pulled out his phone. Called his second in command. Assemble the lieutenants. Now. 20 minutes later, Kongmu's top men were in the meeting room. Minjun, his head of security. Park Sung-ho, his financial advisor. Kim Lee-hyung, his oldest friend. They all looked concerned. What's this about, boss? Minjun asked. Kongmu took a breath. I'm stepping down. What? Kim said. I'm leaving the organization. Effective immediately. Divide the territories among yourselves. Negotiate peace with the remaining families. I don't care how you do it. I'm out. You can't be serious. I'm completely serious. Minjun stood. You're committing suicide. The moment you leave this organization, you're vulnerable. Every enemy you've ever made will hunt you to kill you. You won't last a month. Then I'll die free. This is about the woman, Minjun said. His voice hard. You're throwing away everything your father built for a woman and a baby. Yes, that's weakness. No. Kongmu's voice was steel. Weakness is being so afraid of losing power that you sacrifice everything that matters. I've spent my entire life building this empire. And for what? So I could die alone? So I could become exactly what my father was, powerful and empty? I don't want that. I want her. I want my daughter. I want a life that doesn't require armed guards and execution orders. That's not weakness. That's the first strong choice I've ever made. Park Sung-ho spoke quietly. If you walk away, we can't protect you. I know. You'll have to disappear completely. New names, new lives. You'll lose everything. I won't lose everything. I'll have what matters. Kim shook his head. Your father would be ashamed. My father died alone in this house with no one who loved him. Just people who feared him. If that's what honor looks like, I don't want it. He stood. The organization is yours. All of you. Do with it what you will. I'm done. He walked out. Minjun followed him into the hallway. Boss, wait. I'm not your boss anymore. Kongmu, please. Think about this. I have. For 8 months. I chose wrong before. I'm choosing right now. She'll get you killed. Then I'll die happy. He walked away and found Zara in their room. She was standing by the window with her hand on her belly. I did it, he said. She turned. Did what? I chose. I chose you. I chose Hayun. I chose us. Tears fell immediately. Kangmu. I'm walking away from all of it. The organization. The power. Everything. Will disappear. Find somewhere safe. Somewhere quiet. We'll raise our daughter far from this world. I'll be whoever you need me to be. Just stay with me. Please. She crossed the room and threw her arms around him, sobbing into his chest. I love you, she cried. I love you so much. I love you too. Both of you. He kissed her deeply, grateful like she'd saved his life. Because she had. When do we leave? She asked. Tonight. Before anyone can stop us. Where will we go? I have a house by the ocean. It's small, nothing like this. I bought it years ago. A place to escape if I ever needed to. No one knows about it. We'll be safe there. What about money? I have accounts offshore. It should be enough for us to live comfortably for the rest of our lives. She nodded. Okay, let's go. They packed quickly. One bag each, with just essentials. Kangmu went to the safe and pulled out cash. Passports, documents for their new identities. You planned this, Zara said. I hoped I'd be brave enough to use it someday. They left through a service tunnel. One that bypassed all security. Kangmu's final secret. A car was already waiting. They drove in silence, heading toward the coast. Behind them, the compound disappeared into darkness. In front of them, it was freedom. But freedom came with a price. They were an hour outside Seoul when headlights appeared behind them, coming fast. Kangmu. I see them. He pressed the accelerator. The car surged forward. But they were gaining momentum. 3 vehicles with armed men. Who are they? Zara asked, terrified. Lee's men. Or maybe my own. I don't know anymore. What do we do? Hold on. He drove faster through the mountain's dangerous curves. The cars stayed with them. Then, gunfire. The back window shattered. Zara screamed. Get down. She curled as low as she could at 8 months pregnant. Her heart skipped. The baby was kicking frantically. Kangmu drove with one hand. Shot back with the other. He hit a tire and 1 car spun out. 2 left. More gunfire. A bullet grazed Kangmu's shoulder. He grunted but kept driving. Kangmu, you're hit. I'm fine. Just stay down. They reached a straight road. Kangmu pushed the car to its limit. 140, 150, 160 kilometers per hour. The pursuing cars couldn't keep up and fell back till they disappeared. Kangmu didn't slow down for another 30 minutes. Finally, he pulled off onto a side road and killed the lights. They waited in silence. They'd lost them. Are you okay? He asked, turning to Zara. She was shaking, crying, but nodded. The baby? Is she moving? Yes. A lot. Good. That's good. He checked his shoulder. The bullet had just grazed him. Painful but not serious. They sat in the dark for an hour, making sure they were safe. Then they kept driving. They arrived at dawn. The house on the island was small, traditional Korean style and simple. It was built on a cliff overlooking the ocean. No neighbors, no cameras, no guards, just peace. Zara got out slowly, stiff from the drive. Kangmu helped her. It's perfect, she whispered. You think so? I know so. Inside, the house was sparse but comfortable. 1 bedroom, a kitchen, a living room with windows overlooking the water. I haven't been here in 5 years, Kangmu said. But it's stocked. Food, supplies, everything we need. Zara walked to the window and watched the sun rise over the ocean. She felt the baby kick. She likes it here. Kangmu came up behind her and wrapped his arms around her. 1 hand on her belly. We're going to be okay, he said. All 3 of us. Promise? I promise. The next 2 weeks were the happiest of Zara's life. They lived simply, quietly. Kangmu cooked badly, but he tried. Zara laughed at his burned rice and oversalted fish. They fixed it together. They walked on the beach every morning, collected shells and watched the waves. Kangmu talked to her belly constantly. Hi, Hayun. It's your dad. I can't wait to meet you. Your mom is beautiful. You're going to look just like her. I hope you have her laugh. Her kindness. Everything good about me came from her. Everything good about you will too. Zara would cry happy tears. At night, they made love slowly, carefully. He was gentle with her belly. You're so beautiful, he'd whisper. I don't deserve you. Stop saying that. It's true. Then spend the rest of your life proving you do. Deal. They painted the spare bedroom. Yellow and white for Hayun. Bought a crib from the nearest town. Baby clothes, diapers. Everything they'd need. Do you think she'll be happy here? Zara asked one night. I think she'll be loved. That's better than happy. You're going to be a good father. I'm going to try. That's all anyone can do. But peace never lasts forever. Zara went into labor at 3 a.m. She woke Kangmu, gasping. It's time. He was up immediately. Are you sure? My water broke. I'm sure. Okay. Hospital. Kangmu, we can't go to a hospital. They'll find us. He'd planned for this and called a midwife. He'd paid her extremely well to come out and ask no questions. But she was an hour away, and the contractions were coming fast. I'll call her. She'll be here soon. Just breathe. I am breathing. Kangmu helped her to the bedroom. Got towels, water. Everything the midwife had told him to prepare. The contractions got worse and Zara screamed. She clutched his hand so hard he thought bones would break. You're doing so good, he said. So strong. It hurts. I know, baby. I know. The midwife arrived 45 minutes later. She sat up quickly and checked on Zara. She's fully dilated. This baby's coming now. Now. Zara gasped. Now. On the next contraction, push. Kangmu held her hand. Let her squeeze. Let her scream. I can't. Yes, you can. You're the strongest person I know. You can do this. Stay with me. I'm not going anywhere. I'm right here. Always. She pushed, screamed. Pushed again. I can see the head, the midwife said. One more big push. Zara bore down. Put everything she had into it. Then, a cry. Hi. Loud. Furious at the world. It's a girl, the midwife announced. Kangmu's vision blurred. Tears fell before he could stop them. The midwife cleaned the baby quickly and wrapped her before placing her on Zara's chest. Hayun stopped crying immediately, like she knew her mother's heartbeat. She was tiny and perfect. Dark hair, eyes squeezed shut, 10 perfect fingers gripping Zara's hospital gown. Hi, baby girl, Zara whispered, crying. Hi, Hayun. We've been waiting for you. Kangmu touched his daughter's hand. She gripped his finger. Strong. Fierce. She's perfect, he breathed. You're perfect. He kissed Zara's forehead. Her cheeks. Her lips. Thank you, he whispered. For her. For giving me this chance. For saving me. We saved each other. He held them both. His entire world in his arms. Nothing else mattered. Not the empire he'd left behind. Not the enemies still hunting them. Not the life they'd walked away from. This was enough. This was everything. The Mafia boss who'd once ruled an empire now ruled nothing. And he'd never been more powerful. Because love, real, sacrificial, transformative love, was worth more than any kingdom. Hey darling, if you made it this far, you're the real MVP. Drop a like, subscribe for more emotional roller coasters, and comment where you're watching from. Tell me, did this story wreck you? Because it wrecked me writing it. Until next time, darlings.